Now, disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. Everything that I've just told you and what I'm about to show you is based on my experience. So user discretion is advised. Welcome back to CWM University, where we learn together. And today we're going to be learning about high yield savings accounts. In previous videos, I have addressed the compensation for teachers, and for majority of teachers, the compensation is relatively low. So there has to be something put in place in your life to make sure that you are using your money wisely and making sure that your money works for you. Now, me personally, I've always been a saver. I've saved money ever since I was young. I had the little piggyback and all. I always wanted to make sure that I had money for later. This one particular time I was younger and I was staying with my aunt for a couple of weeks, just visiting with my cousins and my sibling. And my aunt took us to Walmart. Now that's when Walmart was popping. Before you had the 24-hour Walmart, just a regular Walmart, no grocery store. So you just always wanted to go, as a kid, I always wanted to go to the toy aisle. So I remember she gave everybody $20. And I'm thinking like, oh, we got money. Back then, $20 was something. It's like probably, what, $50, $75 now. But I was excited about having this money. And in my head, I was thinking, okay, I can buy something, just a little something, and then have money left over for later. Just because what if we went to the grocery store or to the gas station and I wanted to buy something later? So she let us shop, and when we got done, she was telling everybody that we should give our money back to her for her to hold on to it. I was proud to be able to give her back several dollars because I didn't spend all my money because I knew I wanted to save it just in case we did something later on. And at that time, I was probably like 7 or 8. So I started very early trying to figure out how I can make my money work for me. Also, when I began teaching and started looking at my paycheck, at first I was like, oh, I'm making money. But that was my first like real job. So I thought I was making money. And then I started paying the bills, and I had got a vehicle, so I had a car note. And I was like, yeah, I can barely save any money. So what I do, I started getting extra jobs on the side. I would tutor after school. Sometimes the school would have tutoring programs where they would pay you to tutor. Extra on top of your salary, I would do that. At one point, I started working at Dollar Tree. Then I went to work for this company that scores assessments that you may take in school. You could be a scorer. Then at some point, I was a supervisor. I was doing this outside of teaching a regular school day. And I just thought to myself, like, this can't be life. I'm gonna have 2 jobs just to try to save up money. I can move forward and not work all my life. So I was always trying to figure out what could I do to earn more money. And then one year, I went on a cruise for my birthday. Probably would never do that again. And while I was on this cruise, my friends and I were having conversations about money. I'm not sure why it came up. And my friend LaDee brought up the fact about high yield savings account. And I'm like, high yield savings account? What is that? I just have a regular savings account. And then she was saying basically that it pays you to hold your money. And I said, well, nah. You telling me I can put my money in this account and they'll give me money for having money in this account? So I told her, you gotta tell me more, because at this point it sounds unbelievable. Because the money I had sitting in my savings account, I was making maybe a penny, 2 pennies here and there, but not enough to do anything extra with. And she basically explained it like this: if I put $20 in the bank and I kept it in that savings account for X amount of time, they were going to pay me for keeping that $20 in my savings account. And I was like, okay, sign me up. Where do we sign up? So as soon as we got off the cruise and got better service, me and one of my friends sat there and signed up for the savings account. And I knew as soon as I got home and was able to decompress, I was gonna put money in this high yield savings account. If you are looking for ways to make your money work for you, a high yield savings account is one of them. So I'm going to go over how to find out information about high yield savings account, how it can be beneficial to you, and some reasons why you may want to consider signing up for a high yield savings account. Now, disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. Everything that I've just told you and what I'm about to show you is based on my experience. So user discretion is advised. Look up this information for yourself, read and understand for yourself. But just in case you're not aware, just want to let you know. Okay, the first thing you want to do is go to Google and you will type in HYSA, which stands for High Yield Savings Account. And I usually go to NerdWallet. I've been to NerdWallet a couple times, and what NerdWallet would do, as you will see, is show you maybe the top 5 high yield savings account. Now keep in mind, these are not the only savings accounts that exist. So there's a couple things you want to take in consideration. You want to take in consideration the APY, APY stands for the annual percentage yield, which represents the total amount of interest earned on a savings account or investment over 1 year. But APY is basically going to tell you of how much percentage they're going to give you based on the money that's in your account. So if you look at the accounts here, we have Barclays, Citibank, Marcus, and if you go over, you have the AP, we have 3.85%, 3.75%, 3.65%. And remember, the higher the APY, the more money you're going to make on whatever amount of money you deposit into the account. So you want to pay attention to the APY, the higher the better. Now, APY does change based on the market, based on the interest rates. And so your APY could start off at 3.85, but then something may happen with the market and it may go down to 3.0, or it may go up to 4.5. APY does change. You also want to pay attention to if there's a minimum balance. Sometimes in some of the accounts, you have to have a minimum balance in the account. So for like Barclays, it says you can open it with zero minimum balance. But Citibank, you have to have a minimum of $5,000 just to open this account. And if you scroll down, you will see Open Bank, their APY is higher, it's 4.09%, but the minimum balance you have to have to open an account is $500. And then you look at, you have American Express, their percentage is a little lower, and then Everbank, is 3.90%. Now, you may go to NerdWallet, depending on when you see this video, and they will have different high yield savings account listed. I'm not sure exactly how often they update it, but I have a high yield savings account with a different bank that was on NerdWallet currently. But they just research and determining where you want to put your money. You also want to pay attention to if they have any type of bonuses. They may give you money if you put X number amount in, they may give you a bonus. So Barclays has a $200 bonus, but it says terms apply. So of course you have to click to learn more to see what terms you have to meet in order to get that. And then up here for Marcus, they have up to $1,500 bonus plus 3.65%, but it ends March 11, 2026. So there's gonna be terms, there's gonna be conditions that you have to read to see what makes more sense for you. If you feel like this is some money that you will need to touch every month, you might want to consider maybe a regular savings account where it probably may not charge you for consistently taking money out of it. But if it's something that you want to save up for long-term purposes, a high yield savings account would be good. So let's think of some benefits of using a high yield savings account. You can use it to save for taxes. Say that you're an entrepreneur and you have to pay your own taxes. You could put that money in that account, let it build up, make money on top of the money that you're saving. And then once a taxes roll around, you can pull the money out to pay your taxes. But at least you've made some money on your money. Maybe you want to use it to save up for a house, maybe a down payment for a house, down payment for a car. You could, maybe a boat, depending on where you live at in the country, you might want a boat. You could use it for your escrow for your house. If you don't have an escrow account that you have to pay into, you could save all your money over there in that savings account. And so when your taxes are due for your house, or maybe your insurance is due for your house, you will have money to pull from. And unexpected expenses. I want to save this money just in case I need new tires, or just in case my transmission want to act up. At least I have money I can pull from. Also, maybe you want to save up 3 to 6 months of expenses just in case you lose your job. A lot of people have lost their jobs during this time. This economy has been a little up and down, a lot more down than up. But if you save up the money just in case you happen to be laid off, you will have something to fall back on. And the way the economy is now, I would suggest try to save up to maybe a year of expenses. Now, I know there's a lot to say or think like, oh, I have a year of expenses in my savings, but it's doable. Maybe if you have extra jobs or if you just cut back on some things, but that's a budget thing that you will have to look at yourself and determine where could I spend extra money and then put it in a savings account just for a rainy day. So if you are saving money, but you don't see your money growing because it's in a regular savings account, I highly suggest that you look into a high yield savings account. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot tell you what to do with your money. It's just lived on my lived experience and knowing how it has helped me and helped me move forward and navigate life. Well, why not? But do your own research, Google it, read some things, consider what may be helpful for you. Maybe your own bank that you have now might have a high yield savings account. It might be just one phone call to call the bank and see, hey, do y'all have a high yield savings account? What are y'all offering? What's the stipulations on having my money in there? How quick can I access my money? These are things that you would need to ask and make it a consideration of where you would want to place your money. Also, you want to make sure that your high yield savings account is FDIC insured. So FDIC stands for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and they usually guarantee your money for up to $250,000 in the account, just in case something happens with the bank and maybe they fail or something, you can get your money back. So most accounts are FDIC insured. So just make sure that when you pick your high yield savings account, that one is FDIC insured. You need to make sure that you know the amount that it is insured for. And of course, the more money you have in your high yield savings account, the more money you will make on top of that. So the more money you put in, the greater your return is going to be on your money. So if you're working a job that's not compensated very highly, maybe you just want to save more money because you don't want to work till 65. Maybe you want to retire at 45. And this is one way that you can get paid for saving money. So let me know in the comments, do you have a high yield savings account? Does it work for you? Have you never heard of a high yield savings account? Maybe what are some things you're doing to save money and to make sure that you have a rainy day fund somewhere? Make sure you share this video with someone that can help. Remember, knowledge is power. And now that you have heard about high yield savings account, maybe somebody else can benefit from this information as well. Don't forget to like this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And you already know. Till next time, peace out.